Hey, this is Mango, and I'm going to be bringing you a tutorial on easing and stick figure animation. And I'm going to do that by illustrating how a stick figure should punch. I have to do this kind of quickly because I promised you fast tutorials, so here it goes. So for 10 frames, you're just going to stay still. So I'm just going to I'm going to put a keyframe on the 10th frame here. And I'm going to skew his body forward, which means you just basically select his body, hit Q, and that's the free transform tool. And if you like here between any one of these, you can skew him forward a bit. And that's just because I'm fucking lazy. Some people draw every single frame, but you know, I'm actually gonna do it again. Right. So now you can see how object drawing is kind of beneficial because you actually see where every single joint intersects, and you can draw according to that. And each of these should have easing in it, which means like momentum. Yeah, I'll show you here. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw literally one part at a time. So just for now. What I'm going to have to do is do some perspective thing with his foot, and I'll show you that when I do that. Kind of looks like he's turning a bit. At this point, all the pressure is going to be on this leg here. Okay, now I've got to add a lot more keyframes. Now, you'll probably be noticing that these two torsos here are closer together than these two. And the reason is because he's picking up speed, right? I wouldn't draw them even distance apart unless he's moving at the same speed, but at this point he's picking up speed, so they have to be further apart. And that's basically the concept of easing. Just apply that to everything and you should be fine. A lot of people get confused by the concept of easing when they start out, but ultimately that's it. Draw him even further away. I mean, if you look at the distance between these two compared to these two, you can tell he's picking up speed. Now this foot here is actually going to be turning, so I'm not even going to draw a foot because right now it's pointed away from the viewer. And this leg is about to land. And this is where he's going to land the punch right here, I've decided. And I'll draw the arms and bend the torso later. But okay, so at this point he's slowing down because he just landed the hit. That leg is straightening because he's getting further away from where the foot is, meaning like this has to be the same size as this. Like his leg has to stay the same size unless there's like some perspective thing going on, but there really isn't, so I'm just going to draw 3 frames of him easing out of the hit because I don't have time to do anything else. So basically the focus is this hand right here, or this arm. So right now it's going to move back a bit to anticipate the hit, move up a bit too. As you can tell, the distance between the arm and his body is getting greater. There's more negative space there. And now his arm will start moving, like his hand will start moving towards his body, because ultimately I want him to punch upward in this sort of motion. So always kind of have what you want in mind so you can aim towards that while you animate. And right now his arm is crossed over, and this is the punch landing right here. And his arm's going to recoil out a bit. Now this arm is kind of just the detail. You don't really have to pay too much attention to it, but make sure it doesn't do anything that'll draw the viewer's attention away from this arm. Pay attention to the negative space between this arm and the body, because you don't want it to be like that. And the viewer's like, wait, what the fuck? So there's gonna be a bit more distance here because he's building anticipation. But now his body's turning, so this will actually be here instead. So you can't really see it anymore because his arm is basically staying like that, except it's moving down. Very hard to explain. At this point, I'm just moving the head forward and just easing it along with the body. Eight minutes to try to get this done before 10. Okay, so now double framing is basically double framing is just hitting F5 and selecting the frames that you want slowed down. So you would really only double frame when the movements are very close together. So this is close. Here to here is very close. So actually I will triple frame. I'll add another F5 to that keyframe. Double frame. And here he starts moving faster, so I won't double frame this. A lot of people like to double frame the hit. Personally, I don't, so. And he's like fucking thrusting. And I'm actually going to skew this last frame forward a bit. So this is the fastest point, this is where it hits, and I'm just going to double frame out of that. Whoops. And the end result should look like this. That's kind of like a body hit combo starter. So hope you enjoyed this. Give it a shot, and good luck.